Welcome back to another video of Bloons Crash Course, and today we are going to be covering Heli Farm Ninja, which is an okay strategy. I don't recommend it too heavily, as there are better opportunities to play this, but this is a decent strategy for like beginners or intermediate players, probably below like Moab Pit, I would say. It can do well. And that is mainly because of this ninja here, which allows this strategy to do well mid-game, primarily because of Flash Bomb, which sometimes throws a bomb that stuns balloons. It also does a bit of damage, and this will allow your heli pilots and other towers to damage the balloons at a bit longer. And then there's also the Bloon Jutsu, which can throw tons of shurikens and do good mob damage for pretty cheap, and sabotage supply lines, which just doubles the time that you can take to pop things. It's those all balloons on screen by half, and then Moab, I think it's still 50%. I know recently they've been doing nerfs to slowdowns, but it should still be 50%. And then I've already covered farms. Heli Pilot, I'm not going to go too much into depth. Main highlights are IFR, which allows it to hit camos. Pursuit is almost never good. You will never really want to use Pursuit because of it just not being a great targeting option. It's always just better to either have it in lock in place if it's just to do one option, like popping leads at the start of the map, and you never really use the Heli Pilot again. Or you just target it yourself, which could be a bit tedious, but you're going to need to master it eventually, or at least become decent at it, to make progress with heli strategies. If you're not wanting to commit to that, then maybe the strategy is not for you. And then Razor Rotors is going to be the most useful tier 3 for boost only, and like regular game modes, this allows it to hit camo balloons, pop lead balloons, and it does some extra damage too. Downdraft blows balloons away, which can be useful in like dense ceramic situations. So if you're popping a Moab, which isn't really a situation you need here, because you have Bloon Jutsu and Razor Rotors, but it's also good against maybe like BFBs if you need to. And then tier 4, we have Apache Dart Ship, which is a huge upgrade from Razor Rotors. This allows you to do tons of damage while actively defending everything until like round 30, at least. And then Support Chinook is useless in like 99% of games. The main benefit is just moving towers with its ability, but that's pointless with $8,000 in an upgrade, when you could just buy the tower again. So yeah. Today is ZOMG Superdome. This is a land map strategy, preferably with a decent amount of farm space, which makes this kind of awkward for people to play, because if you're having a high farm game, then you can usually play better strategies. Yeah, so one rush you might see or face, maybe you would just want to go like a Flash Bomb here, set that to close for now or strong, and then maybe like round 14 you would see like a ton of zebras, where you kind of want to stay back and just pop the zebra layer, and then kind of let the Flash Bomb handle and install those inside balloons like that. If you get allowed, then this should also still pretty hold. Maybe you want another heli or a Flash Bomb. All darts should be good enough to handle a decent amount of rainbows. I don't know how much you guys feel like your opponent will send, but the same principle applies. You kind of want to just try and prevent any reroll farms. Of course, they'll probably send more, but you will also have more money to defend. So yeah. For a BFB defense, I think you would probably prefer to go for a Apache than trying to defend without, because you might be spending more money, inducing more risk. And since just like by the nature of people that'll play this strategy, it's just safer altogether than going for a riskier defend when you don't know how well you're going to be able to defend. So yeah. I should also make a Heli Ice video. I don't think I have made one yet. Let me check. That'd probably be a good thing to do. And this was also like requested by a subscriber, so if you guys want to see some specific strategy or curious about my input on something, just leave a comment or message me on Discord. So we got Snowy Castle. Not great. There's only 4 heli spots. Hydro Dam, also not a great heli map. Way too short for most people. Okay, this is terrible. Alright. It's just DC. Yeah, this is not very practical as a sole strategy to play. I would recommend maybe like learning a boat strategy if you're going to. Like I've made a boat farm mortar episode of Bloons Crash Course. And you can check that out if you want to just like get the general gist of boat strategies and boat farm mortar. And I'll make some other boat farm, or maybe you could add a sub. Like sub farm bomb is a decent strategy at times. We got, is this sinful or Simba? I forget. This is kind of crazy. We got a high 5 player here. I don't know who that is. I can't tell the difference. Concrete Alley. Alright, we're probably going to lose this just by the nature of a good player as our opponent. Swan Lake. Not really. Okay, Sands. Sands is a 2-way map, which makes this kind of awkward, but it's okay. And that's because of the nature of like needing to micro your heli to both sides. But I guess that's kind of curated by the power of Flash One being able to hit most things in its radius. It's kind of like an ice tower, which is a better strategy for this. Okay, we're facing Cobra. Kind of unfortunate. Because the strategy is not very favorable against these like very aggressive, dense eco strategies. And that's because of how expensive the strategy typically is. And it's low damage against Pierce. Pierce. Let's try and get a farm up, or more bananas, just to get 120 extra dollars, because I think it gives 4 bananas per round, and more with more bananas, and then just the base 0-0 is 2 bananas per round, so you're already doubling your money with that. Okay, let's send some pinks here. I just gotta try and break his anti-stall, which is something that I'm gonna probably make a video on eventually on Bloons terminology, because of how odd it is sometimes to come into Bloons and not really understand too much of what people are saying, like anti-stall, micro, macros at times, hacker versus modding. All that type of stuff is a bit different to other games. So let's place on another heli pilot. It's a bit cheaper than going for Razor Raiders. And we're kind of trying to apply that principle again, where we break down the higher layer of balloon. Like I was trying to target the green layer there with my quad darts. So my lower damage tower, my base 0-0 heli, was able to pop the rest of the easier balloons. Trying to split up the work is a very good way of dealing with defensive defenses or odd rushes. You can see that even with my opponent, who is setting all of his cobras to strong and leaving the mortar to clean up the aggressive like insides, like, well, not actually aggressive, just like random insides, which would be a bit harder to do if everything was like just targeting on first, or if the mortar wasn't targeted properly. I'm trying to stall out the rounds so I can get a bit more money from my eco. He wants me to be super drained so that whenever he adjusts me, he's going to be able to kill me easier. Okay, it's only 1500. I should be able to do that now. Howie is quite rushable by itself. Let's go like this, try and rush him. I just got to be a bit wary of an all-out. He might actually die this. That'd be kind of funny. Nah, he's good enough to defend. Okay. Send some camo wounds to him. I don't like using the ninja as early game defense because of how poorly it does most of the time. And Heli has better Pierce for about the same amount of money that you're going to spend. So this is probably equivalent of a flash bomb and a double shot for better defense, I feel like. So let's go like this. For another Razor Raiders, try and apply this principle. I don't have a flash bomb. Okay, let's boost. Okay, probably should go for a flash bomb eventually. Our opponent doesn't really know what we have yet. The flash bomb would be beneficial to just stalling out those weird rushes. Okay. Let's go for a ninja down because he's gonna rush around 16. Right? Expect a rush. Yep. Okay, let's set a ninja there. Pierce is quite the issue with this strategy. And I'm dead. Okay. Yeah, it's very not great against like decent players. Let's give him a rematch. See how he holds up. Does he want to or no? It's pretty difficult to find players nowadays, but it's okay. No? Alright. Things to take away from that. There isn't many. Maybe just don't play it on that map. Because of the awkwardness of that just map. Double maps like that. Not great. Alright, so this is going to be a bit more standard BFP / mod pit player. This is going to be a bit easier because going from like one of the best players in the world to someone in arenas isn't that big of an issue. And alright, we got another awkward map. I guess it's playable. Like when I do my Rags to Riches series, I usually play this strategy because I have Ninja and Heli unlocked because I bought them a couple years ago when I first started playing. So like Redeem just gives me those. So I do have a bit of experience with it. Okay, they're farming, so that's good. We're not facing a covert player. So this might actually come as a surprise to them. For farming, maybe they're running okay, they're running boat mortar or boat ace. These are usually the two boat strategies on this map. Maybe boat boomer, if they're feeling a bit risky or a bit safe, I guess, because boat boomer is a very passive, it's the opposite of passive, very aggressive strategy, which probably is seen here with their percentage of blue balloons, red balloons. Colorblind right now. I said blue balloons. Reds, very annoying to defend. Both of these are not great against group balloons, but it's okay. Actually, I probably should have just not bought more bananas and I would have been fine. Okay, let's just try and tank some of these. Okay, try and keep this. I think I need to go for quad darts anyway. It's fine. There's no point in trying to save a few dollars when I'm gonna buy anyway. And then what else to do? This could either be played really aggressively or very passively. I think I want to play this a bit passively right now because we do outlast our opponent because of the stalling capabilities and the lack of boat space. So we're going to be seeing a pretty aggressive player, most likely. I say most likely quite a lot. That's probably annoying. Let's send some black balloons here. And most players are going to be like this. They're not going to rush you because of like fear, I guess. I don't even know why. Why? You guys can answer that in comment. Why do you guys feel like not rushing your opponent? Is it because you think they'll defend, or maybe you think it'll harm your money, like your income? Maybe you don't even realize that you can rush your opponent. Like right now, because I rushed, I'm up like $1,000 already on like round 7. So you're gonna rush me. I'm gonna have to probably buy another helipad, which would again set me back a bit of money. But he's not doing it. There we go. Okay. He did send enough. Like, he just bought a farm and then he did this. So he didn't have enough money to actually do anything about it. Am I fine? Do I need a double? I do. I probably could have gone for a razor rotors, though. Probably do need a razor rotors. Yeah. Alright. This is fine. To me, the helipilot is always super slow. Okay, let's force some defense. Okay, he has Wizard. Wizard is not great on this map because of what I mentioned in our with Shipper video, which is that the Wizard always targets towards the top right of the map, which is not great when you're trying to defend things in the middle and in the left side of the map, because it'll always target up here. So if I send some balloons, and it starts to leak over here, the lightning will start target up here, ignoring anything that's leaking, which is a pretty big issue for him. And like most wizard strategies on this map. In most just cases. Because it's a side reliant thing. Side dependent. Let's spike that. Try not to die. So let's sell that. Let's go for a BIA. Although maybe we do need a flash bomb. So we'll just save a bit of money on hand. Okay, let's go for it now. Okay, that was a bit unfortunate timing, but it's okay. I don't know why he's face bombing. I haven't really done anything wrong except for cash out a bit late, but it should be fine. Is there anything coming my way? Yeah, alright. Camos. Why camos? Okay, let's just boost. He's gonna die. Okay, is he just dead? No. Alright, I boosted, but he almost died to AI. That is pretty funny. Okay, I bought cam on both. Probably unnecessary. Where do I want? I pretty want this here. I kind of be able to just control where my flash bomb lands, so I think like up here, so I can set it close is nice. Let's buy this. Try and get rid of the rainbows before the Moab comes out. There we go. Go for a flash bomb. Try and target the insides there. Okay. Oh wow. wow, dead. Got so many notifications there, oh my god. That was very unfortunate. What to talk about that? Maybe just don't under defend like I was doing. I think I just need a what do I need? Another quad darts. Because I only had 2 0-0s, which is not really enough. Again, just really awkward maps that we're getting today, which is very unfortunate because like it's not this bad. So yeah. Okay, we got a player, but they disconnected. I think it was the same person. When the strategy goes 0 for 2 so far, that's not great. It's unfortunate though. Yeah. Okay, this is just kind of out. I just set this up. Okay, so we get a player here. Mr. is their name, MISTR. And again, it's such a terrible map. Oh my god. Finally, something decent. But again, to my point, not the best strategy for this map. Heli Ice, Dart from Super. What else? Dart from Ace. Heli Chipper, Wiz Farm Chipper, Wiz Farm Super, Dart from... Like, just... I can name so many strategies that are at least equivalent to this and probably easier to play off. So this is awkward. Alright, I'll stop bashing this strategy though. How long has this been going on? 23 minutes. Alright, I'll stop bashing. Good thing about this strategy is decent to and good for beginners. It's a pretty easy strategy that you can get from early game or early on in the game because of the ability to have such cheaper towers. Like you start off with Ninja, I think, or at least it's one of the earlier towers. Heli Pilots is kind of like 400 battle score or whatever, I think. I don't know the exact number, but it doesn't take too long to finish off these tier 4s. And even then, you don't really need them. Except for Apache. So I guess like the Heli is pretty needed. But it's pretty good with just tier 3s. If your opponent doesn't really know much. And it's capable of defending all 3 balloon types. Leads. Well, I guess 2 balloon types. Leads, Camos. And I guess if you want to include Moabs. Or regrows, and it could do well against those too. Maybe not without Apache, but like BFBs are defendable, but a bit difficult. ZMGs too, but those are much harder because you're gonna need to defend with like only Jitsus. Our opponent here is also doing pretty well. Greeting very heavily though, with selling the chippers. Okay. Maybe this will prove useful as a counter to temporarily prove useful against Wiz. Where am I seeing Wizard? Chipper, Ace. Oh, I'm really under defending actually. I'm like severely underdefended. My opponent completely miscalculated how much money he has with the cost of boosting and leaking lives without realizing that he can punish me, which again, to my point, he can do. Like, I don't have like any defense at the moment. Okay, I'm gonna buy some defense because I need it against sleds, but yeah, I need to be a bit aggressive this game, I guess, because of the nature of Ace Chipper being able to go so late. So I guess you guys can see some aggressive gameplay through this, which is pretty good, I guess, because you don't usually see that as the aggressor in this strategy. You're usually the one being aggressed upon. I don't know if this does anything. Okay, we did force the ace, but it's going to be sold right after this, right? Okay. So I guess I sought out his thing for a round. Not even. He sold right then. Okay. Let's try and get something down. I kind of want to get maybe another boost out of him. Maybe a couple other things. He sells his BIA. Oh my. I mean bank. Because that means we're probably going to expect a counter rush. When your opponent sells all their farms, it's probably a good sign that they're going to rush you. Okay. They are still super passive. And I think I mentioned this in my Wiz. Why do I keep saying Wiz? It's Chipper Ace. It's so odd that you say Chipper Ace because you almost never played this, even like a year ago. This was an absolute rarity. Okay, that was a pretty measly rush right there. Not much to be gloating about. Let's send some just random junk with leads, I guess. Force a boost. Yeah, no, you should not be playing like this. You should be playing like maybe going for either another chipper to defend the leads. You want to go for two. No, don't sell your never miss for an ODS because ODS is not as good with chipper as never misses because you need that constant damage applied. I didn't even need to cash out for that. I might need to cash out for Moab or something, but we'll see. We shall see. I'll put that on Ninja, just in case. Okay, I'll go for this. I'm going to boost here, because he's sending just a ton of zebras. We'll spike too, and that should be able to defend. Yeah. Jutsu, like 5k. But we have enough money to do that, and it's good for defense, just like casually. And we'll try and send a brush at our opponent, trying to drain him. This is like all his fault. He does not need to be this poor, but he decided to sell his bank. Also, is he dead here? He needs to boost. He doesn't have a boost, actually. Wait, no, he does. Okay, he's out of boost, though. Once again, not really an issue if you just defended with chippers. Which is like the main thing that this strategy holds for middle game is using the chipper strength of peeling off layers of balloons. Can I afford a thing? No, he's just gonna all out me. Okay, so this is 4k. I've got enough money to afford Apache. Damn it, they nerfed the Apache. They nerfed the Apache, which made this like a delay. It used to be like 14k. Then they nerfed it to 15k, and now it's 16k, so, yeah, we can defend this way, which is what I recommend, if you can afford it. If you can't, then maybe, like, a couple of Jitsus, like 3 Jitsus, and a Sabo, or a Flash Bomb can defend a BFB, in most cases, if given enough time, so yeah. And yeah, so we finally got a win, which is pretty unlucky opponents, I guess, in maps. We get Young Sinatra again. which I think is sinful. Like the player sinful. Again, ink blob. This is terrible. Riverside. Riverside is I don't know. Alright, he did skip it, good. Baggage claim. Alright, this isn't a terrible heli map. Let's give him a thumbs up. Maybe he'll play it out. If not, I'm gonna probably end the video. This is already 30 minutes long. Alright. He might surrender. This is gonna be the last game. Hopefully it doesn't last too long, so it's not like a 45-minute video, but I don't mind that, really. We're not facing Cobra again, so that's nice. Maybe we're facing, like, Dart or something. Since this is a Dart player. Okay, let's go for a farm. I kind of want to save my spikes, just for a little bit. Okay, one thing, is he going Heli Ace, or Heli Ice? Or, oh, he's going Ace, okay. Again, we get to face this strategy twice, alright. Send some Bloons out. And there we go. We probably want to apply that same mindset of last game, where we want to be aggressive while also trying to afford our own farms, and not be too poor in our execution. Spoon boost some of these. He's probably pretty poor at the moment, so he's going to get some buy, because he can't afford a chipper to defend, but he's going to at 18 seconds, right? 118? No? Yeah, okay. That's right. Let's go for this. Blue wounds are probably incoming. Around 5, maybe. Just trying to layer it with the blue, around 5 AI. No? Okay, he's just going to try and defend. So, this is kind of the annoyance of, like, the new metas, because of how just, like, baseless and boring it can be. It's okay. Actually, there's no point. Actually, no, it's still good. He goes for a double chipper defend, which is fine. Actually, I probably should stop sending. I don't think I need to. No, he's still leaking, so that's pretty nice. It's going to force a bit more defense. And it's also going to do a bit more with round 7 AI incoming. Send some more here. No, maybe he should. Maybe he should watch my video. All right, he's at round 9 or round 7 with 9 lives. This is pretty unfortunate. The top players are actually struggling with adapting to Cobra. Neither of those are the towers that I'm saying. Ace farm chipper. It's still very awkward to pronounce to me, because it's usually used in like Cobra farm, Dart, chipper farm, it just said it there, chipper farm Ace, but chipper farm. Wizard, chipper from Dart, or Dart from chipper, Wiz from chipper. Ace from chipper is not really one thing, because you usually say the ace in the 3rd slot instead of the 1st slot. Like Dart from Ace, Wiz from Ace, Ninja from Ace, Boat from Ace. So that's kind of just like something that I need to get used to. Let's send these out, and then go with some whites, which I don't know if it'll actually do anything. Probably not, because Never Miss is pretty good. Yeah. Alright, so now our main issue is just trying to defend against zebras. So it's probably bad to send those whites, but if I'm able to defend, that would be nice. I might need a boost. He's gonna rush next round, right? No rush, okay. Is he gonna send out the greens? He might send out the greens. It's weird how he's playing, I guess, but it's also reasonable, because he just needs to defend till late game and he's fine. Okay, he goes for a BIA here. I can do that too. I guess I will. Let's go for this. Ninja. Ninja is good just so I can buy a flash bomb. Give him a thumbs up. I'll send him a message later. He's gonna be in the video twice. That's pretty nice. Send some weds here. Let's go for some black Bloons. Just trying to overwhelm. Oh no, he's dead. Okay. I didn't actually want to kill him. I kind of wanted to just keep playing out. Sorry. Oops. Alright. Thank you, Sinful. And I don't know, this isn't AFG's A-Dog's Purpose account. So it's probably Sinful. Or Simba. Could be one or the other. But thank you guys for watching, and check out the next video, which is probably going to be either another strategy or tips on Bloons terminology or something else. If you guys enjoyed this, check out my other Bloons Crash Course videos if you're looking on ways to improve and general ideas for strategies. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and peace out.